Ahead of the new season premiere of Chrisley Knows Best and Growing Up Chrisley, Chrisley USA's Instagram account is posting a lot of Chrisley photos. However, this latest photo of Savannah Chrisley is for good reason. Keep reading to find out what Savannah Chrisley is smiling about. Chrisley Knows Best star Savannah Chrisley definitely has something to smile about. According to Chrisley USA and her own Instagram pages, they're both happy to share that tomorrow, August 11, is Savannah's birthday. The Sassy by Savannah creator will celebrate her 24th birthday. Many fans wish Savannah happy birthday in the photo that Chrisley USA posts. However, some followers don't get the memo and are promptly reminded by fans how to not be a troll. The initial comment reads, "Does she have fillers in her lips?" The fan responds with, "Gosh. Just tell her happy birthday. Who cares if she has fillers in her lips? She's a very lovely young lady." Interestingly enough, there is sort of a similar dialogue in the next comment that throws shade at Savannah. The follower implies that Savannah has had a lot of plastic surgery, but a fan responds with, "Oh, come on. Just wish her a happy birthday. We need to be kinder to each other." On her own Instagram page, Savannah gives fans an idea about how she's going to be spending her day. She shares that today she is going to reflect. But tomorrow, I'm living in the moment. This follows a lengthy caption that details why this is going to be her plan. The blonde beauty writes, "Anyone else feel like their birthday week can be a bit heavy?" Next, she writes why she feels this way. Reflecting on the past year of your life and maybe not being where you hoped you'd be when you turn that next number. From the looks of the comment section of this photo, it is clear that Savannah has more fans than trolls on this account. Many of the comments wish the young businesswoman a happy birthday. Others share their thoughts on aging. From us at TV Shows Ace, happy birthday, Savannah. Share your birthday wishes for Savannah Chrisley below. Make sure to come back to TV Shows Ace for more Chrisley Knows Best and Growing Up Chrisley news. Tune in to USA Network this Thursday, August 12th for new episodes of Chrisley Knows Best and Growing Up Chrisley. The golden glow of the late afternoon sun streamed through Savannah Chrisley's living room, casting warm streaks across the marble floor. For months, her world had felt muted, weighed down by court visits, public scrutiny, and the relentless noise of family headlines. Yet today, something was different. Her laughter echoed again, unburdened and light, as if the heavy armor she had worn since her parents' imprisonment had finally cracked open to let joy through. Savannah wasn't smiling for the cameras this time. The smile came from deep within, the kind that grows from endurance, from rediscovering yourself after being broken. It was the smile of a woman who had survived, adapted, and finally, found something worth celebrating again. The quiet morning that changed everything. It started as an ordinary morning. Coffee brewed in the kitchen, her golden retriever chased sunlight across the tiles, and her phone buzzed endlessly with messages from producers, fans, and collaborators. Savannah had grown used to the noise, to managing chaos while keeping her emotions hidden. But among the dozens of messages that morning, one stood out. It was from her agent. The kind of message that made her heart skip. It wasn't gossip or another podcast invitation. It was something bigger. Something that could redefine her next chapter. Her show, Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley, had been quietly gaining traction since its debut. Week by week, her honesty about trauma, resilience, and faith had drawn a loyal audience. People who didn't just see her as Todd Chrisley's daughter, but as a young woman rebuilding her life on her own terms. The message confirmed it. A major streaming network wanted to collaborate. They had noticed her authenticity, her refusal to sugarcoat life. They wanted a docuseries. Savannah Chrisley, rebuilding the legacy. Her hands trembled slightly as she read the details. It wasn't just a media deal. It was validation. The meaning behind the smile of that smile, the one spreading across her face that day, wasn't about fame or fortune. It was about freedom, emotional freedom from the weight of public judgment. Savannah had faced so much more than what the tabloids ever showed. Raising her younger siblings, managing her family's affairs, and maintaining her own sense of self in a world that wanted to define her by scandal. That was the invisible battle she fought every day. She had smiled through tears, through interviews, through moments where sleep wouldn't come. But this smile was pure, because it came from a victory that couldn't be seen in headlines. It came from the quiet knowledge that she had made something out of the chaos. The documentaries wouldn't just chronicle her life. It would showcase transformation. From heartbreak to healing, from dependency to independence. Cameras would follow her through moments of rebuilding, of reconnecting with her faith, and even moments of confronting unresolved pain. It was risky, yes. But Savannah knew she couldn't tell a halfway story anymore. A shift in her energy. Those close to Savannah noticed the change before the news went public. Her tone lightened during podcast recordings. She began sharing snippets of laughter on social media, not the forced kind that influencers post, but spontaneous bursts of joy while cooking, hiking, or singing along to her favorite country songs. Her friends teased her, saying it looked like she was in love. And perhaps, in a way, she was, not with someone new, but with her life again. The world had watched her lose control of her narrative, but now, she was taking it back. She wasn't running from her family's name. She was reshaping what it meant. The energy that once radiated defensiveness now carried confidence. She had stopped explaining herself to strangers online. She had stopped scrolling through negative comments. The focus was inward, building, healing, and moving forward. A celebration long overdue when the streaming deal was finalized. Savannah didn't throw a lavish party. She didn't invite photographers or influencers. She celebrated quietly, with her siblings and a few close friends. A backyard dinner under fairy lights, country music playing low, and a sense of peace that felt almost foreign after so much turmoil. She raised a glass of sparkling cider, looking around the table at the faces that had stood by her. Grayson, Chloe, and a few lifelong friends. Each one represented a chapter of her healing. In that moment, she didn't think about ratings or critics. She thought about her parents, about how proud they would be. She thought about all the nights she prayed for a sign that things would get better. This was that sign. The air that night was filled with laughter, gratitude, and relief. Her smile was radiant, and it wasn't for show. It was a smile that said, "I made it through." The return of faith and purpose to Savannah had always been open about her faith, but after everything that happened, her connection with it deepened. She no longer viewed faith as a shield against pain, but as a companion through it. Her mornings began differently now, with meditation, scripture, and quiet reflection. The chaos of fame had once consumed her days, but now she prioritized peace. That shift had also begun to reflect in her public image. Fans noticed the maturity in her words, the calm in her tone. They praised her for turning trauma into testimony, for speaking openly about the struggles of mental health, grief, and resilience. Through her podcast, she began helping others navigate similar darkness, showing that brokenness could be beautiful if one chose to rebuild from it. Her smile symbolized more than happiness. It symbolized faith reborn, purpose rediscovered, and peace reclaimed. Behind the camera, a new kind of strength as production for the docuseries began. Savannah was more involved than anyone expected. She attended every creative meeting, approved every storyline, and insisted on authenticity. She didn't want a glossy version of her life. She wanted truth. Cameras followed her into therapy sessions, into quiet evenings journaling, and even during emotional visits to the prison where her parents remained. She didn't hide the pain. She embraced it because she wanted her audience to see that healing wasn't linear. This openness shocked some viewers but inspired many more. Fans began calling her the face of resilience, admiring how she handled grief with grace and transparency. And in every behind-the-scenes photo, that same radiant smile remained, proof that she wasn't faking her strength anymore. She was living it. The ripple effect as her story reached new audiences. Savannah's impact began to ripple outward. Women who had faced family turmoil wrote to her about finding courage through her journey. Young fans who had lost faith in themselves found hope in her vulnerability. Even critics who once doubted her intentions began to acknowledge her growth. Savannah wasn't just rebuilding her name, she was redefining it. She had become more than a reality star. She had become a storyteller of survival. Brands reached out to collaborate, but this time she was selective. She wanted partnerships that aligned with her values: mental health awareness, faith-based nonprofits, and women's empowerment. The more she gave back, the more fulfilled she felt. And that fulfillment radiated through every smile, every photo, every interview. A glimpse into the futuristic world. May never forget the